Hey, Multiplexers, welcome to episode number 2 of the Aftershow. It took us a couple weeks to do a sequel, but it's finally here, so get ready for the insanity.
Honestly, people, we take a break for the holidays, unlike Nico Suave Regole, who, when we're supposed to have a 2-week vacation, let's do a trivia-thon. Fuck you. But go ahead, Nico.
How dare you? We are doing a good thing for charity.
Good thing for these nuts.
But anyway, yes, I am one of the hosts of the evening here. I am the Cosmic Night Fury, Nico Suave Regole, and I'm joined by 2 of my fellow Multiplex admins. We have the commissioner / chairman / whatever position he wants to go by, Emperor Palpatine, Tim Smith. How are you today, sir?
You're fired. Get out. Hey, Brooklyn, how you doing, buddy?
Thank you.
And, of course, we are joined by the trivia community's dad. He keeps everything in line when it falls off the rails. Brooklyn, the Black Lantern Veil. How are you today, sir?
First of all, if you're going to make that Palpatine reference, you got to call him at least Chancellor. But yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Brooklyn, do you want fired too?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
No, you don't.
Okay, so we're the panel for right now. Caleb Coho is going to be on in a little bit. He's driving home. But
no, his mom is probably driving him home. There's a difference.
That is probably true. That's probably true. And there's probably a basket full of socks sitting right next to him in the backseat of the car. But
yeah, he's driving and she's in the back folding his fucking laundry.
But anyway, what are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, it's basically what we've seen from the last show. It's basically whatever. People seem to love that. So, I mean, I'm going to start off. I'm a Dallas fan. We beat the Seahawks. Fuck you. We're continuing on.
What do you fucking do? Would you like a medal for winning a wild card game? Your first playoff win in what seems to be a century.
You know what, Brooklyn? In the times we're at now, where everyone gets a fucking award, yes, I want a fucking award.
You want an award? Okay. If you actually look at my Facebook feed, there's actually a participation thing. You know those things in schools where it was like,
yeah,
you behaved really good this week. But yeah, it was like, it's like, yeah, congratulations, Cowboys, you won a fucking game.
Yeah, I saw that. Fuck you, you asshole.
Because you guys are going up against LA, one of the most feared teams in the conference.
I don't know. You don't think? I didn't even watch yesterday. So, LA won. Then I take it.
Well, no, LA was one of the buys because because the other NFC wildcard game was the Eagles and the Bears, and I
imagine the Bears winning, right?
No, the Bears, they were close but no cigar. I believe one Bears kicker, his head is going to be up for grabs here pretty soon.
You go into the playoffs with the top fucking defense of both the AFC and NFC. How do you fuck that up?
First team. The first team in the last 20 years to lead the defense in both to lead the league in both turnovers and takeaway turnovers and takeaways or something like that. Like every other team that has done that has won the Super Bowl. Chicago Bears, nope, can't even get past the backup quarterback in fucking Nick Foles.
That's the sad thing. Nick Foles used to be a good starter, and then he got shipped to the back.
I don't understand. Like, what does Nick Foles have on everybody? Like, why is it the last 2 years, Philadelphia Eagles have been like, oh, Carson Wentz is our guy. Carson Wentz gets injured. All right, Nick Foles, you are now our guy. Nick Foles ends up taking the Super Bowl. It's like, why don't you just make Nick Foles your guy? Carson Wentz is, I guess, at this point, a little injury prone.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like an Alex Smith situation where he's talented, but nobody really wants to claim him. The one to claim Alex Smith after all these years was the Chiefs, and you saw where that went. So it's kind of like the same thing of Philly. He's talented, but nobody really wants to claim him as the guy.
At least your teams are still kind of playing right now. Like,
my team isn't playing. My team is getting ready for golf season.
Oh yeah, your team, Nico, with Wines Hard to Receiver, the second chapter, right?
oh, fuck you.
If there's ever a channel that you need to watch that sort of documents the drama-filled season that was the Pittsburgh Steelers, the channel called Urinating Tree, they have a documentary called Days of Our Steelers, where they treat the Steelers like a soap opera, and it's fucking gold. I piss myself laughing like every episode.
I want to hear Pittsburgh Dad yell at you right now, but it's been a weird couple months for the Steelers. I mean, we started out with Le'Veon Bell just taking his ball and leaving with it, and then
I don't want to play here.
And now we have Antonio Brown, and granted, Antonio Brown isn't being as much of a tool about it as Le'Veon
No, he's just
was.
being a diva. That's what he's being.
Yeah.
He's being a fucking diva.
At least you guys didn't waste like one of the greatest rookie running back seasons ever in Saquon Barkley. Fuck. It's like, oh, here's Eli Manning at one of his worst years as a quarterback, probably his last one. And then it's like, oh, we drafted Saquon Barkley. How did Saquon Barkley do? One of the greatest running backs of the regular season. What is our record? What was the record? Fucking 5-11. Oh, it was a bad year to be a Giants fan.
Oh yeah, like I don't know. They're kind of predicting. What's that quarterback from Ohio State? What's his fucking name? They're predicting him to maybe go to New York next year.
Maybe.
Which I mean could help, but
I mean that's like that. Like that's all we need. Like our defense is okay. We could probably use some people at offensive line. As long as Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't pull an Antonio Brown, we're fine in our receiving core. We have Saquon Barkley. If we can just get somebody that can throw a football and not have as many turnovers as Jameis Winston, then we can be fine.
Oh my God, yeah. This was Eli's worst season ever. I think even combining college, like this.
Oh really?
Like, he didn't even want to fucking play, it looked like. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the hell happened to Eli.
Nazario, I agree with your statement when there is 2 minutes left in the Super Bowl and we're down by less than 6. Eli, when are you best? Down by 6, less than 2 minutes to go. Ball is on
against Tom Brady. Against Tom Brady.
Not even against Tom Brady. Just against a New England defense, which has also been a concern of the New England Patriots. A lot of people are saying that this is the worst New England team in the last 15 years to sort of go into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of. I kind of look at the future of that. Like, what are they going to do after Tom Brady? Because that team is built around one player.
Because you could have essentially done what the Packers did and have Aaron Rodgers just essentially be the understudy to Brett Favre. Like, you could have done that with Jimmy Garoppolo, but he got lifted off to San Francisco 49ers to sit at home with a fucking torn ACL. It was torn ACL or a torn MCL?
Yeah,
something along those lines. But I don't know what they're doing, prospect wise. Mind you, not the biggest pass fan in the world, so I don't really give two shits about what they do prospect wise. But yeah, I'd even say with whenever Brady goes, Belichick won't be too far behind.
Yeah, and I mean they've had Tittle, that tight end they have there. He is phenomenal, and he's just had a shit team around him, but he's a phenomenal player. So there's kind of bits and pieces of a future for San Francisco, but I think right now
if they could just stay healthy, Niners will be a contender.
Mm-hmm. But I think right now, for the next few years, it's going to be the Rams division. I really think that.
Yeah, with Jared Goff and whatever hell his name is, the youngest coach in the NFL right now. Something Donald. They're one of their defensive tackles. He's been one of the biggest threats defensive wise.
Caleb Boatman, you make me laugh. He just said Air Bud is better than everyone we're talking about.
Well, he is.
Right now.
Everybody asked what there's. Well, dog can't play football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, hockey. Well, there's nothing in the rule book saying the dog can't do these things.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Eric Bud came out with more shitty movies than Beethoven, for Christ's sakes.
And then Nazario comes up and he just says that the Snow Buddies are better than Air Bud. So what the hell, man?
Don't say that to Kane. Oh, wait. Inside joke. You guys will see that later.
What do you think of the Colts-Chiefs matchup next week? It depends what version of the Chiefs we get,
and what version of the Colts.
The Colts have been on a steady like incline though. Like Andrew Luck's been getting better. T.Y. Hilton has been their go-to guy. Evan Ebron can have a good game when he's called upon. Because I had him on fantasy, and there were times where I sat him on the bench. And he got me a fucking billion points while Greg Kittle got maybe like 6 points. So yeah.
But I mean, I kind of look at it as the Colts they're not gonna make it all the way. They're gonna flop here soon, and I kind of think for the AFC, I really do believe that the Chiefs could go all the way, and I'd love to see the Chiefs go all the way, but.
They also have Andy Reid. I love Andy Reid, but he's known for he's choking McJokers more so than one Tony Romo.
Yeah, I mean Andy Reid is choked more times in the Super Bowl than I can't remember.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, football. What other matches are there?
What other matches?
Well, so we have the Patriots are taking on.
Oh fuck! Who won that game? I was watching it halfway at work, and then I left for the day. Oh, and I gotta look that up. God damn it!
Oh, the power of Google, folks.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I'm not contributing because I don't watch football on the regular.
Oh, neither do I. I just watch the highlights as much as I can.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Chargers won. Chargers won. Thank God.
Chargers against the Pats.
Yeah.
I've probably seen more high school football games in person than I've seen professional or college football games on TV.
Well, you just graduated high school last year, right?
No, I'm 20.
Oh, wait. That's Caleb Coho. Never mind. Sorry. You young kids.
Yeah, I look at that. Chargers Patriots could be close. Like if Phillip Rivers can put up the numbers that he can. I don't know what San Diego's defense is like, but
it's been good. It's been good enough for this season, but the offense is what's really the story there.
Well, what's the air pressure in the football?
Ha!
Had to
calm down, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Calm down.
I think the only game that's like, to me, not even close is the Saints against the Eagles.
Oh God! Here's the thing: if you let that Saints offense light it up, it's
exactly
done. Like we were lucky to hold them in check and beat them by 3 fucking points. Yeah. We were lucky. If they light it up against the Eagles, it is over, folks. I don't care what the defense looks like. That offense can easily finish a team off once it gets started.
By the way, to the people watching and in the chat, Cody Newberry is sick. So for those of you who are waiting for him to just come in and just unload on everyone in this panel, he's not feeling well. So sorry.
He has a mad cold.
Yeah, it's called, folks, it's called the power if he does that. It's called the power of eject.
Oh dear.
Kind of like what Nico did to Kane when he was being a whiny baby.
You know, I'm trying to be civil with Kane because it's just better when we both get along. So
speaking of Kane, where is Kane?
He's rendering a 5-hour fucking video.
Oh yeah, he's rendering that thing called the Last Stand.
Yeah, for those of you wondering where that's been, simply put, we put the entire thing on one video, and it's 5 hours long, and that's very hard to process. So have fun with that when it finally gets uploaded. But right now, his computer is probably on its last legs trying to get that thing published.
But here's the thing: why not break it up into 2 videos if you don't have to put it through that much hell? I'm just saying.
Yeah, like it's not like a WWE Network pay-per-view that's now like 6 hours long per month.
And spoiled 5 weeks in advance. So, you know. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm fucking wrong.
Oh, it happens all the time. That's why you try to schedule things like where it's like you schedule them the week before and then put up one of the next week. That way there isn't that spoiler gap because everybody does it. I'm guilty of doing it too. Of like if you know that your matches are going up for months in advance, like hey guys, like do you guys care about spoilers and all? It's like oh I won this match about so and so. I'm super interested because I have no idea. I mean obviously I know who wins the manager bowl. Obviously me.
I was talking about WWE.
Oh yeah.
Brooklyn just goes off on a rant there, but I was talking about wrestling pay-per-views, how they're so predictable, but you know.
I don't know. For me, there's always like I can see your point to an extent, but for me, there's always like that 45% amount of doubt in my brain that like they could go the other way. Like think about it. We're getting close to the Royal Rumble, and for me, like. I mean, we've heard that it could be like Drew McIntyre winning the Royal Rumble. It could be Seth Rollins. But then you look at what they're doing on SmackDown, and then there are other possibilities like Mustafa Ali and R-Truth, who shouldn't be this popular at this stage of their careers. But they could potentially be.
Nico Suave Vergoli, did you utter the words that one R-Truth could win the Royal Rumble?
He won the number 30 entrance position.
Okay,
that means absolutely nothing.
But it's
fucking R-Truth. They are not going to have as a company that much faith in
this is the same company where the fans were screaming for one Daniel Bryan to be in the Royal Rumble, and whenever Rey Mysterio appeared as number 30, they fucking let loose. Oh my god, the boos. I believe that was also the same year where it was #canceled WWE Network.
Nazario, here's the thing. When you said I could see Carmella winning before R-Truth, they at least had trusted Carmella with a fucking title for a little bit. R-Truth, they barely touched. They'll trust R-Truth with a Steve Harvey ripoff segment, but that's about it.
I think the last time R-Truth a tag team champion with Miz, or I could be wrong.
I think he was a tag team champion with Kofi, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was tag team champ with Kofi, and yeah,
I don't think him and Miz won it. I know Miz and Big Show won it, but I don't think him and Miz won it.
Yeah. R-Truth and Miz did not win it, but they did main event Survivor Series of 2011.
Oh, Jesus, don't even get me started on that storyline.
And that was when R-Truth was doing the little Jimmy shtick, which
little Jimmy.
I think we're all better that we've forgotten that, but like for some reason,
you had to fucking bring that up.
For some reason, like the mixed match challenge for this year, it gave R-Truth a platform where he's kind of won his way back into the favor of the fans, and I could potentially see the people in creative being like, it's weird, but you can actually take a chance on this guy.
The people in the creative department for the WWE are in no way, shape, or form creative.
I think people are giving him a chance, or people are sort of like getting him over the same way that they got Damian Miz now over, where like he could just
they're going to ship him off to TNA.
Exactly,
because that's what happened. It's like you're winning, your contract's up. Bye. That's pretty much it.
You were lulls, and then whenever you finally got to do your own thing, we got one of the biggest pops of that WrestleMania. But it's like, no, we're gonna let you go.
You know what? Since we're on the topic of wrestling, did any of you guys see Wrestle Kingdom 13 from New Japan?
Nope. Next subject.
Oh, well, what do you think about the Elites doing their own wrestling?
All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah,
sort of like CM Punk returning. I'll know more whenever it actually happens. Exactly. They're gonna be all this hype built up for potentially nothing.
I mean, they already put together All In last year, so like they have contracts in place that they're getting their stuff together. Like so I believe if anyone can really make something happen, it's a guy like Cody Rhodes and Matt and Nick Jackson. I feel like they are two guys who can definitely back up what they put down. That was the whole point of the first All In event, was like we're taking a chance on ourselves, and look how well we did. Now we're going to take an even bigger chance on ourselves. And
I think what's
thing is too,
like
yeah, the thing that worries me the most is longevity. I don't know if they're best off as a company that sort of like, here are like the 2 or 3 things that we do a year, as opposed to being like, now we're just gonna be our own promotion where we go week by week by week. That would be my concern.
So you're wondering if they should have maybe did another event before they took this jump.
Yeah.
Because
at the same time, you got to look at WWE is the only big thing New Japan's kind of picking up now that it's coming across. But there's a lot of like mid-independent cards out there that it's going to be hard to compete with them, because there's just like an overfill in the market, so to speak. So it's going to be hard.
They from what I understand, they're trying to take like the first right step, which is they've been in talks with TBS and TNT trying to get a TV deal going. So like, I mean,
they'll show anything.
Yeah.
Remember the last time though, TBS, Turner Broadcasting Station, tried to get a hold of a wrestling company? How well that went?
I do remember that, but I feel like Cody and the Young Bucks are smarter businessmen than.
Did you ever see how much in the hole Eric Bischoff left Turner? Try almost $1 billion.
But think about it though. Think about whenever WCW started, like you had like Scott, like whenever WCW really got into their prime, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash. They're essentially like what Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks are now, 2 stars that were potentially kind of wasted, and then brought over to the over company. They thrive. Now trying to start their own thing. Could it be with like money and views on the line? Will egos clash?
Here's the thing, though. But here's the difference between Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes is that Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, they went into business for themselves a lot. Like Cody and the Young Bucks, they've at least been in this business for a long time, that they are willing to put other people over even at their own expense. That's something that Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were not really willing to do. And that's why they and Hulk Hogan and the rest of the NWO ran roughshod over WCW for the better part of 5 years to a decade. So for me, I feel like, again, Cody and the Young Bucks are smarter businessmen. Like the Young Bucks, they first established themselves as intelligent businessmen with that Hot Topic deal, and then Cody with All In leading the charge for All In. I feel like these guys know what they're doing, and they can make waves where Scott Hall and Nash weren't able to do the same.
I don't know. It just kind of depends to see how it'll do. We won't know until it either actually happens or we hear more news, kind of like the XFL, we won't know exactly what's going to happen until it happens. Even though me and Nico talked about this one night in fucking depth. But the short handle of it is he has to be something he's never been able to do. Non-egotistical and very, very smart.
And he being Vince McMahon in this case. Just to clarify for the people at home, yeah, Vince McMahon. We know him to be a gigantic blowhard, and yeah, that's the XFL is that one thing that he wanted to do, but it did not work out. So like he is just driven by ego to make it work this time, and hopefully he learned his lesson, because
hopefully this time it doesn't hit the proverbial iceberg and sink to the bottom of the ocean. Because
to be honest, I wouldn't mind there being another Pittsburgh team around here, because like I've heard that.
Oh no, go figure. Of course you wouldn't.
For 2020 or 2021, one of the cities that was mentioned for rumors of the XFL expansion after season 1, if it worked out, was Pittsburgh was on that list. Cleveland was on that list, and I kind of want to see how a Pittsburgh team would be handled for the XFL. That's just me, though.
Yeah, It was a nice little gimmick when it first
yeah.
came around. But
I think you got I think what they're doing now and what they looked to do is to tackle the demographics that have recently been at a loss, I guess, for football. And then tackled, because when you think about it, Pittsburgh is one of the biggest football cities in America. Like the cities that's tackling now, they are tackling St. Louis, San Antonio. I'm going to pull it up, but I know St. Louis is one of them because that's obviously the biggest one with the recent departure of the Rams.
While you look that up, I just want to read a comment in the chat that I just saw that I missed beforehand, and it's from Caleb Boatman, and it says, Kane's computer is on its last legs, so you're saying it's about to have its last stand?
Yes.
Thank you, Nico, for being 5 minutes late to the party.
I'm sorry, we were going on a spiel. I completely missed it, but it made me happy when I finally saw it.
Okay, so the cities are going to be so they're doing. This contradicts a lot of what I said. How they're tackling cities that are sort of football deprived.
Now, wait, are you reading the list for season 1 or for what they want to expand to after season 1?
This is according to CBSSports.com. Here's a rundown of which cities will be hosting games when the XFL kicks off again. So they'll be Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, New York, Seattle, St. Louis, Tampa, and Washington, D.C. Interesting, considering New York already has 2 fucking football teams. LA has 50 to 60 fucking football teams.
50 to 60% of those cities are going to say, fuck you, we're good. That's what they're going to say.
Like Dallas. Dallas doesn't need an XFL team.
Here's the thing. We have Dallas here. We have Houston here.
San Antonio, put one in El Paso.
Can you fit another football stadium in Texas?
But here's what they're doing. Like they're putting them in already built stadiums. So, for example, New York, they're having games in MetLife Stadium. In Los Angeles, they're doing them at the StubHub Center. St. Louis is going to be the Dome at America Center. Washington D.C. is going to be Audi Field.
I thought they tore that down.
Where teams already play.
I thought they tore the Dome at America Center down.
Maybe. I don't know.
I thought they did.
I'm a Canadian. I do not know these things.
No, they might not.
The biggest news Canadian football-wise is that there's potentially going to be a CFL team in Halifax, but that's our big thing.
That's still going on, I see. Damn, I figured it would have ended back in the early 90s.
No, we got.
I guess Johnny Football had to go somewhere.
He has to go somewhere. There's talks of a team being in Halifax to sort of represent the Atlantic provinces and the Maritimes. But the one thing for sure set in stone, if anybody ever watches lacrosse, I think lacrosse is actually can be a super entertaining sport. But Halifax is getting a team in the National Lacrosse League, and they're set up across Canada and the States.
So I'll say this: lacrosse is definitely one of those sports that is fun to play, but
it's super fun to watch.
But for me, it's like on TV. Like I never see it on TV, so I can't really say whether or not I feel like it would be a good sport for watching or not. But
it's super interesting because similar to basketball, they have a shot clock. So you see ball movements similar to basketball, where they're sort of throwing it around the proverbial ring, I guess, and they're just trying to find the best shot, and there are elements of hockey similar to the deking and spin moves and whatnot, and it gets pretty physical. But yeah, it's super interesting.
Every time I hear lacrosse, I just laugh because I think of American Pie and Oz. That's it. I don't take lacrosse seriously.
No. I would say probably the most entertaining sport to watch that I have never really played before is Aussie Rules football. That is a fucking fun sport to watch.
So rugby.
Not quite rugby. It's like rugby times 3. Where it's they boot the ball on average 40 yards. stuff like that.
So if I was running
And
down
there's less tackling.
and Nico came to try to tackle me, I could just run him over with a clothesline and keep going, and nothing would happen. Okay, cool.
I know. Go watch. Now. Yeah, go watch Aussie Man Review's AFL highlights. And that was one of my introduction into it. And then I actually watched a couple games, and I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting. Meanwhile, a wild Caleb Coho appears. He's all yours. Go get him, Tim.
Wild Caleb Coho. It's just Beanie Man. It's just Beanie Man.
Hello. I have arrived.
You and your shitty internet, Chance.
How was dinner?
How
was dinner? What did you have?
Fantastic. I ate some chicken from Buffalo Wild Wings. It was good.
Oh yeah. Well, how was the chicken? Was it seasoned in the buffalo sauce? Or
it was not. Just ketchup for me.
Caleb.
Yes.
How much laundry is in your car?
What do you mean in my car? None.
Well, we were just wondering. Mainly, I thought it.
I don't know. I don't know how you do things, Nico, but
picks
usually
you up
I have a
from dinner.
washing machine in my house. I don't really have to go anywhere. Like,
You know what? Don't talk about your mother like that, okay? Your mother is a person, Caleb. Do not talk about your fucking mother like that.
Okay.
Because we've seen it on multiple videos when your mother brings in your laundry, probably with a nice little Tootsie Roll pop on the center.
I love that we say multiple. It happened during one taping, and this is why I have an on-air light outside my room now, because she didn't want to be on camera.
Yes, because we would point it out every time, like, oh, there's Caleb's
every
mom.
time. The one time that it happened. Wow.
So, but anyways, when your mom picked you up, did you have her fold a thing of laundry in the back seat while you drove home?
Funny. So next week is Nico's Trivia for Thon thing, right?
No, it's the week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah,
Starting on
the weird way
fucking Full House match.
The weird way that I.
Oh, go ahead, Rocco.
I was gonna say the weird way that I remember that is that I go back to work on the 17th, and then the 21st is the jukebox match. And I know that's one of the first ones of the week. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are the matches? Because I want to like go through and predict every single one of them is Nico losing.
You're a dick. You're a dick, and I can only comment on one Full Metal match at this time because Sandy has not told me who the opponents are yet. But so, by the way, Jake Marangoni, when you see this, we still need to tape the Warzone stuff as well. But for what we have on the books right now, we're starting off in Full Metal singles. Jen Kemp will have a match with an unnamed opponent for right now. I figured I suck in that division, so I'd rather start off with one of my best clients. And
every division you suck. Go ahead.
So be a great manager and have somebody do the battle for you.
The Brooklyn Vale strategy.
I'm highlighting one of my best competitors in a specialty of hers. Like
Come on, guys. This is all Nico has. Let him have his moment before it gets taken away from him. Go ahead, Nico.
Okay. Then I will actually be stepping into the ring in movie Warzone. I will be taking on the person who shouldn't be 0-2, but is Michael Campbell, Full Metal Trivia Team's co-champion. And I'll just state for the record right now, if I lose that match, I will retire from that division in singles competition.
Promise.
I won't make it official yet. Well, I won't make a promise, but I'll just say I'm very much contemplating retiring because I'm.
Caleb, are you writing down what you're predicting for each match too? I take it.
I will. I will actually do that.
Okay, because I'm doing that. Go ahead, Nico. Sorry, Dan.
I just wanna remember what they were. Hold on. I'm gonna erase my board, and then I want you to give me a quick run through of what you said already.
Fuck this. I'll do this. I know.
Okay. Fine. Okay. All right. Do you have your writing utensils up?
Yes, I am prepared.
Okay. Match number 1. It's Full Metal singles. Jen Kemp versus To Be Determined.
That's not us. We don't have to worry about it, Caleb.
Okay. Then in Multiplex, it's me versus Michael Campbell in movie Warzone.
Okay. Okay.
After that, we close off Monday night with Jukebox Trivia versus Jay Burns.
Okay.
Then we move into Tuesday, and we're doing regular TV Throwdown first, me versus Malcolm Goldie-Lay.
And in a match, I really...
Hey, listen. I only picked Full House because that's a category.
No, I take it back earlier when I said it's all your fault. It's yours and fucking Jim, because Jim egged on Malcolm and then Malcolm picked it. So fuck you, Jim Green.
Anyway, well, Tim gets his anger out. The one after
questions, but like, when you write questions for TV Throwdown, you actually go watch the show and write questions about it.
Yeah, you should do that, Caleb. You should do that for
no. I mean, no. I do
the same thing with music.
Because
it's much easier to watch a movie or listen to a song and write it. I'm saying, like, you're watching an entire season of television.
Caleb, there's a lot of TV shows even I haven't seen yet, so I have to watch them. Or I rewatch a couple important episodes with like Full House.
Wait till I step into TV Throwdown.
That's fair.
I'm gonna make you watch a really popular show and then a show that's really divisive.
I mean with TV, if you're watching something like Full House, there's like 21 episodes in a season. So do you watch like all 21 episodes to get questions?
No, since I grew up on Full House, like shows I grew up with, like that, Boy Meets World, I know the key episodes that are the important episodes. But if like one of Malcolm's was, what is it, Travelers or Timeless, Nico? I think it was Timeless.
It was Timeless.
I have to watch that because I've never heard of it. I have to watch Fuller House because I had no interest in it. So
fair.
And then I have to watch Nico's
TV is Nico versus Malcolm, and then what else?
Okay, so after that, it's me versus. Well, actually, I can't say this one because there's still some.
Yeah,
stuff
you can't say it because things haven't been released yet. But it should be released in time where it'll be that match where I have to edit it, and I'm going to want to hang myself like I'm Kane McMillan.
Is this the Phantom TV match?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Right.
So I can't say what's on the line yet or who the opponent is because stuff still has to be released in terms of.
But you're in the match, right?
Yes.
Or no?
Yes. Okay, and then closing out the night with the return of Full Metal Classic, I will be in that match, and.
Okay, so that'll be another loss.
What was the one after Phantom TV?
Full Metal Classic.
Okay.
Which we don't know who he's playing, obviously. So I'm going to call that a wash because I don't know who he's playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we head into Wednesday, and we're starting off with a very special wrestling exhibition edition of Sports Battlefield versus my Combat Zone Wrestling Trivia co-creator, Hunter Chambliss.
Yeah, that one I actually have to edit. God damn it. Okay.
And then after that, in an actual Sports Battlefield match, it's myself taking on Phantom Fight and Full Metal Geek champion Robert the Hobbit Parker.
Interesting.
And then after that, we are closing off Wednesday night in Full Metal Random, and I'm so happy I can announce this now. I've been added to the Avatar: The Last Airbender / Legend of Korra Iron Man match between Paulo Yama and Jay Burns. I am now in that match as well.
That's going to be tough. Okay.
Then we head into Thursday, and so we have a to be determined. And now the way Thursday is going to work, I'm mostly thinking it's just going to be all teams matches. So Afro Samurai Showcase. Obviously, we have the Phantom Fight match versus Ranger Force. We have a to be determined Full Metal Trivia Teams match that will be uploaded before that one, and then we're actually going to close out the night with a multiplex first, the first ever movie Warzone Teams match. And for now, we haven't created the green room yet, but if Jake can get the questions written in time for that one, it will be Afro Samurai taking on the team of Dollface and Brian Fernandez, Blood and Glory.
Yeah, I'll give that one to you because that's going to be a toss-up.
Okay, and then what's next?
Then we head into Friday, and it will be, let's see here, Full Metal Geek match versus to be determined opponent. And only 2 matches for this particular night. The second and final match of that night will be last time ever, apparently, or one more time, as it's been advertised. Myself versus Caleb Coho in Fandom Fight.
Okay.
So Saturday, it's kind of up in the air, at least in terms of stuff I'll be involved in. If I have to do Nerdgasm versus Ryan Permerson, I would like to get that recorded and edited and uploaded in time for that Saturday. If not, oh well. It is what it is.
Good. I'll throw out my little commissioner hat of that there. Good chance that it could be at least recorded, edited. I cannot guarantee, but yeah, I am off all this week, so yeah.
Okay. So it is possible to make that happen in time for Saturday the 26th. Also, I'm going to see if I can get in touch with the Schmodown people and at least see if they can put the donation link in the Patreon unlisted video description for the live event, because I know they want to try live streaming for the patrons. So I feel like, let's see if I can get them to put the link in there. If not, again, oh well, I'm at least going to promote that the Schmodown Live is happening and people should go see it because it's awesome. And then finally, we're closing things off on Sunday with Combat Zone Wrestling Trivia over on Film Nerd TV. We just taped a number 1 contenders triple threat match between Matthew Rosa, Eli McCaig, and Hunter Chambliss. And then we're closing off the week with live, for the very first time ever in the trivia community, a last person standing match between myself and Andrew Hayes for the heavyweight championship.
Okay. Since that's all of it, I'll start first with my predictions. I broke them down into 2 categories. 1, multiplex, because that's what we write and that's what we worry about. I'm predicting 2 and 7. Altogether, 3 and 11.
Okay, hold on. I'm going through and I'm doing my prediction thingies real quick. Warzone. Okay. Jukebox. Okay. TV. Okay. Fandom TV.
Be 13 matches total, right?
14.
Wrestling.
Which one? Okay, I have Gen Chem's match. I have Warzone, Jukebox, Throwdown, Fandom TV, Nico and Hunter's Wrestling Exhibition match, regular sports battlefield, random avatar, Fandom teams, Warzone teams.
No, you're right. I think I miscounted. Okay.
Hold on. So I have Geek Fandom, Full Metal Trivia Singles, Warzone, Jukebox, TV, Fandom TV, Wrestling Exhibition, Sports, Full Metal Random, Afro versus Rangers, Afro versus TBD in FM teams, and then Warzone teams, Fandom, Geek, Nerdgasm, and Week of what is it? The Wrestling Combat Zone.
Yeah, I didn't put in the TBT. I didn't put in the to be determined for Full Metal Geek and Full Metal teams because there's an opponent similar to Full Metal Classic.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're taking out. Okay, so I'll take out teams and Geek then.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll only go with things that are booked. Okay, Nerdgasm.
So then with that there should be 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. That Nerdgasm match is actually kind of hard to predict.
Pretty easy for me.
Okay.
I have my reasons why.
Okay, and then Full Metal Trivia. I'm gonna take the Full Metal singles out because it's also TBD. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so of the 12, let's see.
And
I
again,
have Nico going straight 6 and 6.
Wow.
Okay. What about you, Brooklyn?
I have him going 3 and 9.
Wow.
I have him going, like I said, after.
I have a lot. I have the most faith in Nico on here than anyone. Wow.
Yeah, because for multiplex, I have him going 2 for 7, and then 3 for 9 for overall.
See, I have Michael winning the Warzone just because Michael's like pretty good. I have Nico winning jukebox.
Is it weird that I have myself winning jukebox as well? Because like I feel like I shouldn't have won the first time I was in jukebox, and yet somehow I did.
I haven't seen game tape on either you or Burns, so I'm going based on what I know about you as people. It depends on what Burns gets as strengths.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how big on music you are. I'm just giving you the benefit of the doubt. I have you winning against Malcolm in TV.
I do too.
I don't know. I think Malcolm would pull it for TV.
I don't know. I'm gonna give. I also have Nico winning in fandom TV because TV just seems to be Nico's area. I have him beating Hunter in the wrestling exhibition. I have Robert winning in sports because it's Robert, and I'll never bet against Robert. I don't know how good he is in sports, but I won't bet against him.
I kind of want to see that because I want to see if someone who has no fucking clue what a goddamn physical activity is with Robert Parker beating Nico, who's at least like Mr. I'm Pittsburgh sports. So I want to see how that goes.
And then for Full Metal Random, I got Paul because everything Paul touches turns to gold right now.
Yeah.
I got the Ranger Force winning the fandom teams. Because they're just the luckiest. They're the luckiest bastards I've ever seen when it comes to trivia. You guys either win big or you lose big. So we'll see.
I don't think we're going to lose big against these two. No.
And then I have Afros winning against Blood and Glory. I have me winning fandom because there's no way on God's green earth I'm letting that one go.
I'm writing it, so it's not going to be all composer and year date questions.
Yeah, fine, but it also needs. It also shouldn't be how many Oscar-nominated actors are in the MCU, Tim. So
I might throw a dick question out just to fuck with you.
I have Nico winning against Hayes, and then I have Ryan winning in Gasm.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Ryan kind of kept it competitive with Kane, the last iteration of Nerdgasm. And if you can get under Nico's skin in debate, it's over.
Here's the thing.
I'll break down. Yeah, sorry, Nico, you go ahead, and then I'll break down my card.
So nobody but myself, Ryan, Cody, and Brooklyn know what questions are going to be debated, and I can just say that, like, for what we've picked, I feel like I've been able to, at least in writing, construct arguments and counter arguments to take down what his picks.
But I will say this because I have actually debated, that Star Wars thing back in the days before Take 3 imploded.
The dark times.
Yes. There's a big difference, Nico, when it comes to getting everything written down and ready to go to actually go in there. Because if someone can get under your skin, like a Caleb Coho, they can run with that in the format of the rules. And we've seen Caleb do that with your music, what's it called? Dance Off, when he faced Matthew Rosa. Because he got under Rosa's. He fucked up. I will admit that because I saw that. And everyone was just like, ooh.
I did.
But for the most of that match, he got under Rosa's damn skin. He did. And he was good with it.
My thing about that match is after the fuck up, I never bounced back because I had to reevaluate my strategy, and I also just didn't feel like playing anymore because I didn't like how I was playing. And the fact that I don't want to say I half-assed it or like I didn't give it my whole, but I clearly wasn't at 100% after that. And I think I did really well against Rosa considering the circumstances. So I want the rematch with Rosa so badly. So if that can happen,
potentially,
I want to beat Rosa in Dance Off and watch him get so pissed.
The way that we're
all Michael Jackson.
Oh, Michael Jackson, yes.
To make it sort of like a little bit of a peek behind the curtains for Jukebox Trivia. I was gonna announce this next week, but I'll do it here anyways. I'm gonna be I'm divvying it up into like blocks. So like when we start up in February, it'll be just trivia from February until Easter. They'll take like a couple weeks off, and then we'll do debates. We'll do debates from the time we come back to the start of the summer, and then we'll take break off. Summer will be just trivia. We'll take a little break. Fall will be just debates, and then winter will be hopefully more trivia.
So you're kind of doing it like block type of thing. Yeah.
The goal is to have the trivia championship defended at least 3 times, and to have the dance off defended at least twice. Excuse me.
Okay, so I've heard what matches Caleb thinks I'm going to win and lose.
All right, so the way I have the card broke down, I have Michael beating you in Warzone. I have Jay.
Let's be real. I think even I have Michael beating me in Warzone. So
I have Jay beating you in Jukebox. From what I've discussed from Jay, he has a plethora of knowledge in like alternative sort of like hip hop. I think he has a niche. It's just a matter of what he hits, and I think that strength can spread out into more things. As opposed to you, because you're one match, I couldn't really get a strength out of you. I have Malcolm beating you in TV because I watched Malcolm and Sandy's match, and Malcolm was like confident, and I never really seen that side of Malcolm in a match. Then I have you over the mystery of over the opponent of Phantom TV. I know who that opponent is, but I think that you will. I think that you will beat them.
But I do want to say, Cody. Hey, Nico, who won that dance off? But go ahead.
Hey, Cody, eat shit.
Oh,
don't
man,
talk to the manager of the year like that.
Eat shit. I've heard that so many times. But yeah, I have you over Hunter in your wrestling match. I have Robert over you at Sports Battlefield. I tested every single question that is in that match, and they're fucking softballs. Yeah. Paul. I have Paul because it's Paul. Like if Paul's passionate about something, there's a good chance that he's gonna be really good at it. Then I have Ranger Force over Afro Samurai. I have Blood and Glory over Afro Samurai. I think Matthew Rosa and Brian Fernandez are cancel each other out strength wise. It comes down to you and Dollface, and I think Dollface has the edge. I think Dollface knows a little bit more than you do. But yeah, Caleb and Phantom Singles because obviously Ryan over why this was so easy. Ryan and Nerdgasm because Nico couldn't even win debating and wrestling.
Hold on, I was called in on short notice for that one. I did not want to. I did not want to be in there. I did not want to be in there. I was brought in on literally an hour's notice. I was picking things at the last possible second, and also the format at which Hunter was trying that was screwy. You had at least time to prepare for a different opponent. I did not have much time to prepare
a lot more about wrestling than I do. Anyways, enough about that. But the last match, I do have you over Andrew Hayes in the last person standing match. I think that can be interesting. And I think I don't know what Andrew's threshold is in wrestling, and I know what your indie knowledge is. And I think they come into play in that match. So, yeah, I have total going 3 for 9. Your wins coming in Fandom TV, Wrestling Exhibition, and Wrestling Last Person Standing.
Yeah, so about average for Nico. I mean, you know House Night Fury's motto: if we get close, then we're the champions.
If we beat somebody who beats somebody who beats somebody who beats somebody who beats somebody, then we clearly beat that person.
Keep in mind, I can end this stream right now if I want to.
And then we'll start it back up.
And then we'll just.
I'm actually going to take off. I have something I gotta take care of, so I am going to jet a little bit early.
You just got here.
I know. I'm sorry, but it's here. There are things I got to do.
Nah, it's cool.
Yeah, that's understandable. Adult life sucks.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at TheRealBK10. We're not the word. You can also right here on Multiplex. Nerd Guys are running on Saturdays. We'll be starting at the end of the month. And Take 3 Redemptions running out with 2 shows. 2 Bucks Derby, which is starting in February. And Late Night with Take 3, which will be coming back January 31st with our Super Bowl episode with a potential special guest. We're trying to work on that. But cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah. We'll see you, Brooklyn.
I have some fun stuff to talk about in the realm of fandom if you guys are down to talk fandom.
I don't care. This is the freeform show, so we talk
Cool.
about whatever.
Okay. I have a not finalized, but the list so far of the 13 rookies that'll be debuting in fandom next season. And some of them are familiar faces, some of them are faces we haven't heard before. And I actually have every rookie matchup made so far.
But you have 13 people, so
I have
kind of
13 rookies. I have 13 rookies so far.
So I kind of wonder how that's going to go for the odd man out being 2-on-2 matches.
So I'm just gonna run down the names of people who will be debuting in fandom, and I want to hear initial thoughts or on who this person is, and then I'll give you the matchups. So the first name is Adonis Nazario. We've seen him play. He stepped in for Smartacus after Jessica Morgan's departure at the end of the year on short notice. So he's someone we've seen play at least.
I cannot wait to see that in memoriam when you guys show it, because behind the scenes I saw that. I didn't stop laughing.
That in memoriam is one of my favorite things I've ever made. Anyway, so Adonis Nazario is the first name. I know Nico's got an attachment to Adonis Nazario.
Yeah. Listen, I feel like he got a little caught up in the lights in that first match he had. He was on short notice. I mean, playing Robert, getting an opportunity. He was a genuine fan of Jen's, and so the opportunity to team with her might have been a little overwhelming for him. I can tell you the guy really wants to do well in fandom and in 2019. Like, the guy will push himself as hard as he possibly needs to be the best. He was a former baseball player at one point, and he had that drive to succeed when he was a ball player, and he has that drive to succeed now as a trivia player. We've been putting in some work to get him prepared for his upcoming matches because, again, he wants to do well. We've been doing scrimmages, getting him ready, and yeah, I definitely believe in him. I believe he can do it. The key thing for me is, like, you're going to mention another rookie, the opponent of his that he has first in singles, and that's Brian Michaels. And that's that. Is he hustling us with how much he actually knows about fandom or not? Because, like, he always, whenever it's fandom, he always undersells himself. When it's general movie trivia knowledge, that's when he actually talks about himself positively. But in fandom, I can't help but think, like, because a lot of those categories, they can find their way into Warzone and into general movie trivia as well. So I feel like he just might be underplaying his abilities. So we're going to be on the lookout for that.
That's fair. We'll jump down to Brian Michaels since you mentioned him. We know him from Warzone. He's one of the writers over at Warzone, one of the people behind the scenes of Warzone. Going to jump into the fandom ring, and you're right. Maybe he is hustling us. Could we have a situation where it's a Tim Smith situation where he's like, I only really know Fast and Furious, and then comes out and just does really shockingly well? Or could we have a Russell Howell situation where he comes in and he's like, I'll give it a try, and then it just doesn't quite live up to the precedent that he set in general movies?
Now, my question is for Nico, because now you're actually trying to be a manager. Is this because of backlash from one Cody Newberry, who is the manager of the year, potentially?
What do you fucking think? What do you think?
So Cody got in your skin. Now you're actually trying. Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Well, how long is it going to be before, like, he has nobody? Because, like, his cash cow is going to end up going to the Schmodown at some point. I think we can all agree on that. So,
I think because of distance, I don't think so. Because they don't have the money to really fly people out too often, and Robert would kill in Inner Geekdom, so he would have to keep coming back.
If they got Robert, they would have to retire him in Mara Knopic fashion, because he would just run the table and just win, defend. And after like 3 or 4 defenses, they'd be like, hey, we need you to retire so we can still have a division. And that's what would happen.
Oh, by the way, from Caleb Boatman in the chat, he's in reference to
the
Cody comment.
Work?
My younger brother. Hello, my son.
Well, Caleb, spend at least like a week in the admin chat, and yeah, you'll see, like, bullying, it drives you to a breaking point at certain areas.
There's a difference between bullying and teasing, and I think sometimes that line gets crossed a little bit, but we always tease you because you kind of make it a little easy. But we always do it from a place of brotherly love.
Yeah,
At least I do. I don't know. I can't speak for Tim.
Yeah, I'll give you that, Caleb. You do it from a place of brotherly love. Now, some people whose names will remain confidential, wink, wink. I can't say the same for them.
Oh, I think I know who he's talking about.
I wonder who he was talking about with that not so subtle one. Okay, so speaking of someone that was just talking in the chat, Caleb Boatman is coming to fandom next season, and I have big hopes for my little brother. I
just want to say,
He looks like your fucking twin too. Like
I know, and
freaky.
we were born the same year. I think we're a month's difference.
It is fucking freaky how
weird.
Like all he needs is a beanie, and it's the same fucking figure. Wouldn't you agree, Nico?
Absolutely. And I just want to say,
I will say he has way better hair than me.
Well, yeah, he's not balding early like you.
True.
I just want to say, like, you guys won't see it, but like after we shot the gauntlet match, we had the funnest time talking with him behind the scenes. Like he was just a bundle of joy to be around. So he's going to be a very much welcome addition to Multiplex competition in 2019. Because
not only that, I think to the community, because like you said, he is so much fun to talk to, and like it really gives you that boost after. Because I mean, for doing all this, I think we can all agree, doing all this, it is straining for us to want to keep going, doing all this, like, and when we have fun people like that around us, it helps us to keep going forward, because it is a lot of work that goes into this.
Speaking of Boatman, his next comment after that was, if that's the case, I owe Ricky Stillman from 7th grade an apology in reference to bullying actually working.
Wow.
Back to the fandom rookies, Caleb Boatman. I have a lot of high hopes for him, just because of I've seen him play. I'm very interested to see what he does. So yeah, I'm very curious. Another person I'm going to.
I just thought of something. We should definitely book a storyline of like a Miz and Damian Mizdow between you and Boatman.
No. He is my stuffed double. And then he becomes more popular than Caleb, and Caleb can't take it.
Can we have them on the Google Hangouts calls together? And
would be even funnier. Would be even funnier.
Boatman just imitates everything Coho does.
What would be so funny is if Boatman becomes the kid. If Boatman becomes the physical manifestation of the kid, and then I get to be the king full time, and then we actually have two people.
But he would actually beat you because you as the kid sucked. Him as the kid would actually be good.
That would be so good. I will literally ship him a beanie and a hoodie so he can be the kid.
Tim, do you remember when there were two Sin Caras? What if we did that where Caleb just returns as the kid while
okay. I understand that one, but that storyline sucked. Like, we could work it with the kid and King, or I still love your idea with Miz and Mizdow, where when Caleb's reading a question, he's holding up something, pretending to read, and following him per side.
That'd be funny. Okay, the next name on the list is Jacoby Bancroft. I know nothing about Jacoby. But I am interested to see him play. I'm going to run down some of the people that we don't really know anything about, with Mike Bryant being another person debuting next season. I don't really know anything about Mike Bryant.
Yeah, this is the first I'm actually hearing of this name, and like I get the notifications for when people want to join the group. So, I mean, we all do, but yeah, like I don't remember that name popping up.
Yeah, because like a lot of time we'll see these people compete in like full metal, so we can kind of get like a feel. But
sometimes they come from the plantation, or you know.
You see, you call it the plantation, I call it the Valley of Death.
No, it's a plantation where when me and Caleb were working, we were singing "Days Never Ended." That's just got me working.
Okay, the next name then is a name we've heard before, both on the Schmodown and in here at Multiplex. One of our biggest supporters, Jonathan Peck, is stepping into the Fandom Fight ring next season. and that'll be very interesting to see. I'm quite excited for the debut of Jonathan Peck.
Yeah, Jonathan Peck is a great guy. He's always wanting to do things to help out with whatever aspect of the community he can. Like he's been gracious enough to help us with some questions. He's had one match so far in Multiplex, and that was in Sports Battlefield at Mayhem at the Multiplex, our first pay-per-view event. And since then, we have not seen him, but he's stepping into the ring once again in a different aspect of Multiplex. So,
to be fair, with no people, it's kind of sports is kind of like the defunct back burner right now until we get people.
By the way, Peck, I'm still coming for you in Sports Battlefield. I need to get a win on my record. Anyway.
And for the record, like Dan is trying to get things set up again to get Battlefield running back up. It's just a matter of time.
Well, he messaged me saying he was done with it all.
Done with Warzone, but he's still making an effort to make Sports Battlefield work. And I applaud him for it. And if we give him the information he needs necessary to make it work, then we can.
He has the information. It's the same information me and him are working with, and he has it.
He honestly does not have the account information for the Multiplex YouTube channel. That's what he's been lacking in to actually set up the streams. But we give him that.
Yeah. I mean, he has everything else, though. He just needs to learn it.
But
go ahead.
The next rookie is actually going to be debuting in every aspect of fandom, teams and singles. He'll be debuting with teams. He's one half of Komodo Dragons. I'm going to butcher your name, Albert. I am so sorry. I believe it's Albert Weredharma. I hope I pronounced that right. From everything whispers in the community, Albert is supposed to be a beast. So I'm excited.
Too bad he has a shitty partner.
Very excited to see him jump into singles. And his opponent, actually, I'll debut next, is someone we are all very familiar with. His name is Brian Fernandez. He'll be stepping into the fandom ring next season.
Okay, so this is interesting because, obviously, first off, in teams, his partner is Subrath, who has either been tardy or had to leave calls in mid-match. So, if I were Albert, I'd be like, you have to have a lot of confidence in yourself as a player to take that gamble. And in terms of singles competition, Brian Fernandez. No offense to Brian, but I feel like that's an easy first challenge. We've seen Brian compete before in Warzone, and he considers himself to be a horror guy, and yet he did not do well on what he picked as his strength. So, Brian, he has belief in himself, and I applaud him for that. But it's a matter of the work he's been putting in behind the scenes to make that belief plus the action into success. I don't know if the action is there in that equation for him so far.
Yeah, I mean, for both of them, we'll just have to wait and see for the match. But who's next?
The next name on the list is someone who actually debuted last season in teams, but their match was never aired. It is Jay Burns' partner from Neighborhood Ruck Alliance, Richard Schwartz. Will be stepping into the singles ring next
because
season.
YouTube wanted to fuck us over. Yep.
YouTube was like, yeah, Blockbuster Video or Neighborhood Watch Alliance, a great match that came down to the last question. Yeah, it does not exist.
You only get 5 minutes.
You only get 5 minutes. We're going to fast forward that match to the point where it's uneditable.
We were waiting because Cade was freaking out. We were like, okay, maybe it just has to render because that's how a lot of matches happen.
Or process or whatever, but no.
After you record them, but it was just a day later, nothing. It's
this match does not exist, and we didn't want to retape it, so we just announced the results and moved on.
Which is unfortunate because
it was a great match.
Oh yeah,
because
it was fun.
That was one of the few things I think Nazario and Mike Hanley could hang their heads on highly for in terms of Multiplex. They did well over in Full Metal, over in our sister promotion, but in Multiplex. For all four of these guys, it was a bit more of a rocky year for each of the four within that match. So, especially Jay. It was
Jay's had a tough year. I think if Jay comes back next season and hits it hard, he could be a contender for Comeback Player of the Year.
I think what hurts him is round 2. It's that wheel. That wheel, I've never seen it so unlucky.
It hates him. he got screwed with opponent's choice against Lucas, and then it's never been kind to him.
Yeah.
But hopefully Richard's luck is better. He'll be stepping in singles, which will be very interesting. He did pretty well in the team match, so who knows?
And we know Richard has knowledgeable experience in terms of like inner geekdom / fandom style stuff in the TV realm. Like we saw him go down to the wire with Grant in Mayhem at the Multiplex. So like in terms of movies, I'm curious to see how if he has that same amount of knowledge, which I'm betting he does.
He has the same knowledge. He played in Nerdgasm, and he is the #1 seed.
Oh yeah.
In the Nerdgasm tournament next season. So it'll be very interesting to see him take his debate knowledge and apply it to trivia knowledge, and we'll see how that works. All right, so the next name on the list, now we know all the next couple names on the list in terms of people. The next name on the list is Mike Hanley of Blockbuster Video will be stepping into the singles ring of fandom.
Mr. DVD himself.
It's very interesting. He'll be playing in a triple threat debut match.
You love your fucking triple threats, don't you? You love your fucking
it just works that way. There's 13 rookies. There has to be one triple threat.
Oh, God damn you and your triple threats.
The next name that I'm going to debut, the next two names that I'm going to debut are going to piss off Nico so badly. Cody Newberry is getting in the singles ring of fandom to make his singles debut next season. Manager of the Arkham Knights, and he's going to start playing fandom singles under a couple caveats and conditions. He wants to get in the ring. So I'll be very interested to pair him off against Nico at some point, maybe.
Oh, God, that would be hilarious.
I pray for the day that we get Nico versus Cody.
What are those caveats and conditions that he wanted?
None of your business.
One of them is who he plays, and in terms of the debut, because he was very particular when I gave him the list of rookies who he wanted. The next name on my list is.
I think I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going.
My next name on the list is a guy who, when I first mentioned the idea, seemed very hesitant, skeptical about doing it. After I broke down the categories, sort of told him a little bit more about what it was like, tested some old questions on him, he saw the potential. Without studying, he was getting about a 50% accuracy. If he's put in the work, he could do better. That is Henry Sanchez. Henry Sanchez is coming to the Fandom Fight ring next season. Thoughts on Henry coming into the ring?
Go ahead, Nico. I'm just going to go to the next person.
All right. Look, I just want to say for the record that I want to like Henry. I want to like Henry as a person, but it feels like he's taking too many shots at me for just being a guy who likes to shoot big. So yeah, I'm gonna bust his balls back.
Henry is probably top 5 shit talkers in our community. So I would love to see you two train.
Yeah, he digs a lot of holes for himself for that shit talking. And that's shown in his past affiliations and former affiliations, I really think.
And number 13, the last rookie on my list, is not a rookie to the fan leagues. In fact, he's a legend of the fan leagues. One and only Sean Sicario Sandberg is coming to the Fandom League next season. And that should be very interesting to see Sean get into the Inner Geekdom realms over here of Multiplex after playing in Warzone. And his partner, Grant Gregory, already here. That'll be fun to see both members of Sons of Apocalypse. And with Caleb Boatman being in there, that's 3 members of Apocalypse in Fandom next season. So the matchups next season are, as we previously mentioned, Adonis Nazario versus Brian Michaels. That'll be the first rookie matchup of the season. Who do we see taking that one?
Obviously, I'm going to go with Adonis because that's my boy, and I see how hard he works, and I see how much he wants to get better. There is a little bit of doubt in my mind, but that's simply because, like, again, Brian Michaels is kind of underselling himself in terms of his fandom knowledge, and so, like, I'm cautious about us being hustled by that. But I feel like I mean I've put in the work with Adonis, and I feel like he definitely has the potential to be somebody in this division.
I will go second and agree. I'm going to take Adonis. I also have the worry of Brian hustling. but I have played Adonis myself personally. A while ago, we did a audition match between myself and Adonis because he messaged me. He talked about how much he wanted to be involved, about character development, all sorts of behind the scenes jargon, and I offered him an exhibition to play me because I wanted to see how good he was up close and personal. He took me to the last question, and neither of us had studied. So it was, and I think the final score was what, 15-14, Tim? 16-15? It was like a 1 point difference.
I thought it was 14-13.
14-13? Somewhere in that range. It was a pretty moderate.
It was 1 point.
It was a 1 point difference, but it was a pretty good match. So I gotta go with the guy that I have actually seen up close and personal fandom and give my vote to Adonis Nazario. Tim.
Oh, it's hard to call because I don't know if it was just the lights or he just didn't study as much. Because when you face Robert, you really have to study your ass off because Robert is.
It was short notice. Keep that in mind.
Robert is the Rain Man of everything geek trivia. He is. Like, I mean, he can pull shit out of his ass that if Full Metal didn't take him up and be like, yeah, Caleb, your 47 question got you fired. We're replacing you with Robert. But I love you, buddy. I'm going to go with Michaels just for the unknown factor because I don't know if he's hustling us or what. Because I've seen, as hosting a lot of these movie matches, like that was supposed to be Caleb's job, but he got tied up with fandom, and I don't blame him because, you know, fandom is his baby, so I don't blame him for that. But I've seen a lot of these matches that he's written, every one of them. He knows his shit. So it's really going to come down to how he does with that knowledge factor. But I'm going to go with Brian.
That's fair. The next matchup is a civil war within the ranks of Apocalypse. It is Caleb Boatman versus Sean Sandberg.
You're a dick.
That is going to be quite a match.
Wasn't that supposed to be a three-way?
It was supposed to be a triple threat, but due to some switching around of the schedules and the four-way of JD and Kane and everybody kind of shook up the rankings of what the season was going to look like. It was initially a triple threat between Caleb, Sean, and Grant to be an Apocalypse triple threat civil war. However, Grant is now going to be playing Tim Bracala in a match next season. They will be doing one-on-one battle, and JD will be playing in a triple threat with Hunter Chambliss and Jay Burns. Next season, that'll be the triple threat 0-2 match. But yeah, I can't even start to think to pick a winner in this.
You're a fucking dick. That's all.
See, I've seen both of them play up close and personal. I've never played Boatman. I've seen Boatman play though. And I have been in the ring with Sean a few times. Never really in the realm of inner geekdom, but I've seen him play geek, and he's pretty good. Like, he's a solid geek player. And with it being expanded and extra categories like Rocky and DreamWorks and Pixar, I think that works in Sean's favor. So I'm going to give slightly to Sean, no matter how much I love my little brother Boatman.
Yeah, for kind of the same reasoning, I'm kind of leaning towards Sean. That said, like, we haven't seen a lot of Boatman yet, so... and he strikes me as another guy who wants to put in the work to get better. So I feel like if the hype is real, Boatman can pull it out. It's just a matter of what are the questions? Because we've seen it, like, you can say you're strong in a certain category, and then questions that come up in that match can determine otherwise. So.
Caleb Coho.
What are you talking about? What category are you talking about?
You know what the fuck I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
You know what the fuck I'm talking
about. I don't.
I wasn't saying it to take a shot at anyone.
No.
For once.
I want to know what category you're referring to, Timothy.
Every match that Ranger Force has been in, you've been trying to dick us over. So fuck
That's
you.
That's not true. That is not true. Ranger Force versus Silver Shamrocks. In fact, Ranger Force versus Silver Shamrocks. I don't think I was trying to dick you over at all. But again, those questions were written an hour before the match.
Stop writing questions an hour before the match.
The thing about that one though was that was an impromptu rush thrown together, and I wasn't even there for the match. That was like, oh, this is the only game we can do this, and it was very last minute. That's not my fault. Anyway,
I am scared for when we try to get those team title matches out of the way in a rushed amount of time.
I'm telling you right now, Nico, your Afro Ranger match is done. I wrote it already.
Yeah.
So it's not a matter of it's not a matter of the question to be written.
I wasn't talking about my match. I was saying like because like you're trying. I know you want to get the Silver Shamrocks a defense of their title, but before certain things might happen.
Before Paul says later.
Yeah,
like Randy Marsh graduating college.
Which again, we don't know that's going to happen. It's just speculation. But I'm just.
Oh, come on.
I'm just saying.
Come the fuck on, Caleb.
I'm saying it's probably going to happen. That's what I'm saying because Paul's good and he's in LA. That's all I'm saying. I'm
the
just
only
worried about
here's the small 0.0000001% this doesn't happen. Is if Paul just says fuck it no, which is not going to happen. Paul is going to go. He's going to relinquish all his gold and glory throughout all the trivia leagues and leave us in the dust like Chance Ellison before him.
Only difference is there's going to be more dust because Paul had more gold.
Oh,
shock! Someone took Janine over Chance for New York. Anyway, the next match is.
Thanks.
Oh yeah, yeah. You are you picking Sean or are you picking Boatman? Just hurry up.
I've known Sean a very long time, and if he watches this on replay, because I don't think he's in the chat right now, I know Caleb is. I'm going to go with Caleb because, we've seen a lot more that hasn't aired yet of Caleb. I'm going to give it to him by a slight margin.
Okay. The next matchup is Jacoby Bancroft versus Jonathan Peck. Again, no game tape, no anything on Jacoby. We have no game tape on Peck when it comes to fandom either. So, or any real trivia outside of sports. So it's really hard to pick. So I don't know. I can't really take anything. I'm going to give it to Peck because I know the name really.
Here's the thing: we know Peck is a diehard Schmodown fan. Like he was probably one of the first guys to sign up for the Patreon, and he's been he I think he signed up for the tier that allows him to write questions for the Schmodown.
Because he's had some before on that, which I've seen recently,
and
they've been good questions.
And like Caleb said, we have no idea what Jacoby Bancroft brings to the table. So just because of the fact that we have at least an inkling of what one competitor brings, whereas we have no idea what the other competitor brings, we got to go with the known, and that's Jonathan Peck. So I feel like we might be proven wrong. We might be proven wrong because again, that's the other side of the coin of of known versus unknown is like you're unknown. We don't really know that much about you. So I could have some egg on my face here, but for now I'm sticking with
it's not a first. It's not a first for you, Nico. It's not a first.
God damn it. Why did you can't help yourself, can you?
I'm sorry, you make it easy. It's like if Tyson fought a fucking infant, Nico. I can't help it. But in the showing of going against you two, I'm going to go with the unknown because we don't know.
What if that infant was Jack Parr from The Incredibles and he just turned into that beast monster?
Okay. Here's what reality that would not be in because
I'm breaking it up now. I'm breaking it up now, and we're gonna move on to the next one.
You bitch.
All right. Richard Schwartz or Mike Bryant? I'm taking Richard Schwartz because we have game tape. I literally don't know who Mike Bryant is.
Well,
maybe Mike is the next Robert, but I literally have no idea if he is.
Correction. We had game tape.
Game tape on Richard Schwartz, and then YouTube ripped it away.
YouTube
was like, no,
you hateful bitch.
Okay, so Schwartz or Bryant? Are we all taking Schwartz?
I think so.
Yeah. We all take Schwartz, don't we?
Yeah.
All right, and the last. Oh no, we have Albert versus Brian. Albert versus Brian. It's gonna happen. Fernandez. I'm taking Albert.
Yeah, because I've actually
of the whisperings I've heard.
I've actually played him. Granted, this was just Schmodown trivia for Chris Clark's Schmodown trivia. Schmodown. He knows his shit. So Yeah, I think he'll beat Brian handily.
Okay, I have a question that goes into my answer, and that's what part of the world does Albert live in?
I don't know.
Oh fuck. I think it's around Sugarloaf somewhere around that part of the world.
Because we've seen certain international competitors get hindered by when we start taping a match, because that might be, depending on where they are in the world, that we could be starting the recording at like just minutes after they woke up. So if Albert,
but you can't really hold that to wait, because look at Case. He's all the way in bumfuck Egypt, Netherlands, or wherever the fuck he's at. And
he contended
he's gone
for
to a
two
title
titles.
shot. Yeah.
He played 2 titles in one day.
Yep, yeah, but he also works a night shift, so his sleeping schedule is kind of adjusted to our recording time in a sense.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay. So then the next match is a triple threat between, this was part of Cody's stipulations, Cody Newberry versus Henry Sanchez versus Mike Hamley. Triple threat debut. Who you got?
I gotta go with the guy who got close to a title and who has a partner who is really strong in Phantom-centric stuff in Nazario Montenegro. I'm going with Mike Hanley.
You just don't want to say Cody because you hate him.
I genuinely think it's Mike Hanley, though.
You just don't like Cody, but...
So fun fact, Henry, we did this fun thing, me, Henry, and Mike Hanley the other day with Ryan and who else played? It was Brian, Mike, Henry, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who the fourth person was off the top of my head. But yeah, we played old questions. One of them was, we went back and we did the Blockbuster Smarticus match to see how much Mike remembered. Mike remembered none of it and did better the second time. And he did better on his own than he did in the team match. So I was like, shocking. But Mike did surprisingly well in old Phantom questions and did really well. Ryan ended up winning that match. Oh, Jake was the other person. But Ryan, I think, won that match. But anyway, it was really fun. Henry plays really solid. He has some categories that are secret strengths that even he didn't know. But I am going to go with Cody to win, because when you look at Killer Nerd Squad, Cody carried that team, even though they lost both times. He carried them to round 3 with Knights of Hydra, and he carried them deep into round 3 with Silver Shamrocks.
Okay, but at that time, if you have a partner like Hunter, and granted, Hunter is one of those, they always try, whatever. If you have a partner like that, and you have some knowledge, you're going to carry them 99% of the time. So that argument, you kind of got to look at the whole picture, but...
I'm getting word right now from Cody Newberry saying he did not agree to Mike Hanley, and he is very mad, and might not be in that match anymore. But anyway.
Well, I do want to see Cody win, because nothing against Mike. I want to see Cody hold his own so we can see him go up against Nico and put Nico through a table, which would be hilarious. But I also want to see him beat Henry Sanchez, because that would be entertaining. Because Cody likes to face people he wants to shut the hell up. He did that with Dan in Movie Warzone, and he wants to do it with Henry and Fandom. So it's going to be interesting.
Cody is an interesting case where he's like Brian Michaels, where he's more confident in like other forms of trivia than Fandom, and he is like, Fandom's not really my bag, but I'll do it, and then does really well. Like, if you look at the accuracy for Killer Nerd Squad, it's not the strongest. It's like a 50%. It's a 50%. And I promise you, the reason it's 50% is Cody. It did so well. Cody does so well. If you go back and watch those matches, even though they retired at 0-2, Cody was the muscle.
I mean, the same thing with movies. He goes in there like, I don't know, and he's 2-2, but his 2 wins were very good, and his 2 losses, he was so close, within like 1 or 2 points of double digits against his opponents, which is saying something. So I think Cody could take it.
True. All right, so those are all the rookies. And tomorrow the Fandom Awards air. So that's the other big thing I've got.
Oh, dear God.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So,
where the divas of Kane and Caleb get to go on screen again.
I mean, we created it. So
Yeah,
it's not really a diva thing. It's just a Harloff Ellis thing.
How many? Wait, I have a question. I have two questions.
Yes.
One is, how many matches have you booked yourself for in 2019?
2.
100?
2.
I'm sorry. It was there. I had
That's fine, but 2. I only have 2 guaranteed matches next season.
Nico. High five. I'll give you that one.
The other question was, I know you're a fan of award shows. I've made it perfectly clear to everyone who was willing to listen. And I only watch award shows for the fashion. I know that's weird for someone who thought about fighting MMA to say, is like, oh, I only watch award shows for the fashion, but I do. I actually, that's the only reason I watch them. But you actually watch award shows because you care about. So what did you think of the Golden Globes? And Tim is going to get a bottle.
Good segue. I was about to say we should get into Golden Globe talk before we close the episode out. I thought the show overall was atrociously boring and terribly cringy. The best parts of the night were Jim Carrey in the opening monologue and Jeff Bridges winning the Cecil B. DeMille Award. Those were the best parts of the show for me. I love seeing Harrison Ford. Taylor Swift showing up was really cool. But overall, I think it was, I would say, not necessarily a bunch of twists. I kind of saw everything that won coming. Like, I understood why everyone who won. I totally called Rami Malek winning Best Actor.
I kind of thought that was going to happen too for some reason.
He's right up the Golden Globes alley for a Best Actor win, is to take the second place or the unconventional choice. Like last year, James Franco winning Best Actor in a musical or comedy, and then Gary Oldman winning drama. Put those two as the 2 front runners for the Oscar race.
I got to ask you this, because you've probably been watching award shows a lot longer than I have, even though you've been on this planet for a shorter amount of time than I have.
Much less.
Has it ever happened where a host or co-host of an award show won an award that same night? Because
it's unusual, and I don't like it. I'm sure it's been done before. This is the first time I've ever seen it. But then again, I've gotten into award shows much later. I think I've only been watching the award shows for about 5 years now. So it's unusual, and I didn't really care for it. I think if you're the host and you can't be nominated for anything, like you can't host if you're a nominee, in my opinion. And I don't know. I like them both. It's just
see, I don't mind if you're nominated. It's just like, this is it. It was when I saw it happen on my TV. I was like, this is interesting. Okay, Sandra Oh is hosting, but she also just won an award. Like, that's unexpected for me. But I mean, I'm happy she won it. You could see how genuinely happy she was.
If you're the host, then people are obligated to vote for you because you're hosting, I think, is a subconscious thing. So yeah. That's why I don't think for like actual professional award shows that should be a thing, like Golden Globes or Oscars or Grammys. Like if you get, LL Cool J to host the Grammys again, he can't be nominated for anything.
Well, what is he
usually get someone removed?
What is he going to be nominated for? Like
exactly, it's that like he's years removed from his career, which is why he does it.
Like, isn't he still on NCIS LA?
Yes.
Doing.
Why is that show still around? Why is NCIS still around? Anyway,
you're fired.
NCIS LA, best NCIS show.
I don't disagree with that. That's the one NCIS show I actually watched for a period of time. I need to really get back into that show.
Chris O'Donnell is the man. Anyway, the best Robin tonight.
He's no Mark Harmon, but go ahead.
He's no Burt Ward. But yeah. The biggest controversy of the night was Bohemian Rhapsody winning Best Picture Drama. And the thing is, I knew it wasn't going to go to A Star Is Born. Everyone was like, A Star Is Born is the winner. The thing is, the Golden Globes were never going to do that. They wanted the shock and awe of an unconventional pick. And I thought the unconventional pick was they're going to give it to Black Panther. because Black Panther being nominated at all made me think, oh, they're going to give Black Panther Best Picture Drama because its only other two nominees were Best Original Song and Best Original Score. And I was like, and there's no performances. There's nothing else. Ryan Coogler's not up for Best Director. It's not up for Best Screenplay. It's literally just in Best Picture Drama. And I thought that was so weird. And I was like, okay, well, then it's going to win it because it'll be the first superhero movie to win the Best Picture Golden Globe. And it'll, set the world on fire. Black Panther wins Best Picture Golden Globe. But they did go for the shock factor. They just went for the other movie that I didn't think they would do, which was Bohemian Rhapsody. Which I like, but
I kind of see your point. Like when Black Panther was one of the nominees, I was like, I could see it winning, but at the same time, like the more I've seen the movie, the more I've kind of been like, yeah, and no offense to anyone who did like it. It's just like I feel like the hype has lessened for me the more I've seen that movie. Whereas like Bohemian Rhapsody, yeah, it's just about 90 minutes to 2 hours of Rami Malek lip syncing Queen's greatest hits, but like the story he told while doing it, it just sucked you in. And like I can't remember what it got on like Rotten Tomatoes for an overall rating.
It is the lowest rated critical. It's the lowest rated critically. The lowest film rated critically to win that award since Out of Africa, I believe, 33 years ago. It has a 62% on Rotten Tomatoes.
But yeah, like the fan reaction really gravitated toward that movie. So I can see why it won Best Picture Drama.
Yes. Both the films that won are feel-good movies. And I think that is a theme that the Oscars are going to continue, is they're probably going to award more positive feel-good movies this year just because of all the stuff happening and how negative the world kind of feels right now. It's just like they're going to give it to a movie that makes you feel better after watching it. Like Green Book won Best Picture Musical or Comedy. And everyone in my chats were like, yeah, nah, I don't know if that one should have won. Maybe everyone was saying The Favorite should have won because it was a better film. Malcolm's obviously saying Mary Poppins Returns because it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
I've been meaning to check out Green Book. It's just I haven't gotten to it yet. And like, had I known about The Favorite up until last night, I probably should have checked it out too. Again, I'm more of a TV guy than a movie guy. That's just me. But like, and speaking of TV, like the more praise I see it get, the more I realize that I must really be missing out on something in terms of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I got to check that out, and thankfully I have Amazon Prime, so I can check it out because I want to see if the hype is justified.
I'm really not a TV guy, so
we've seen visual proof of that.
I just kind of tuned out the TV bits. So I was there for the movies. The other big thing I was excited about was as I pick up my marker off the floor was. Best Animated Feature, I think, has a new frontrunner to win, which is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I think
it did win. It did win last night.
It won the Golden Globes, which I think now it's the frontrunner to win the award at the Oscars. Unless the Oscars pull a Lego movie or a Lego Batman movie and decide to not nominate it because it's a superhero film and instead slide in something like Hotel Transylvania 3 or The Boss Baby, like they did with The Boss Baby, and take a lesser film. Just to take a shot at the superhero movie. But I don't know. I think Spider-Verse is something special and something different that they can't ignore it. I know that they have Isle of Dogs and Ralph Breaks the Internet, Incredibles 2, all nominated this year. And I think Incredibles 2 was the front runner for a long time, along with Isle of Dogs. They were both up there. But I wouldn't be shocked to see Spider-Verse win it now. And I've been rooting for it since I've seen it. So I was so happy to see it take home the Golden Globe.
Yeah, especially when it came out like so late in the year, and now it's taking things like
I think that's a benefit, not a detriment. I think a bigger detriment was Isle of Dogs coming out in February, and now people are forgetting about it, or Incredibles 2 coming out in the summer, and people starting to forget about it.
But yeah, you make a good point there. Yeah, like coming out like late in the year, like it's still fresh in our minds, and therefore it's still like this is hot. It's definitely award worthy, and that's what happened. I want to ask you about this, unless Tim has anything he wants to chime in on in terms of everything we've talked about so far.
This is all Greek to me.
Okay, now you know how I feel when we talk football. It's mostly Greek to me. But yeah, I want to know, what did you think of Christian Bale's acceptance speech?
I think it's British humor, and I think it's everyone kind of not knowing how to take in his sensibilities. Because Christian Bale, I saw headlines today that like until the Golden Globes last night, when they heard Christian Bale speak, people didn't know he was British because of Batman. And I think that's hilarious. But Christian Bale,
trust me, I was there. I was there for a long time. Like it wasn't until I think maybe like I might have been like after the Dark Knight trilogy, if not when he was in The Fighter, that I realized, oh, he's British. Okay, like it took me a while to realize.
I didn't know until I saw The Prestige, where he actually speaks with his natural accent. Yeah, I think it's just British humor, and I don't think everyone needs to jump all over him or jump down his throat for it because it came out as just British humor to me. I watch a lot of British TV, so
I'm what you would call a filthy liberal. So like him thanking Satan for inspiration in terms of how to portray Dick Cheney to the fullest extent. I loved that so much when I heard that on TV. So I liked this speech. I liked it.
My favorite part of the whole night, in terms of if we're talking speeches, Glenn Close's speech for the wife was great. And again, that's someone that no one saw coming to win a Golden Globe. It's now a 3-horse race for Best Actress because Glenn Close could win. Gaga, I think, is starting to fade away from people's voters' minds, which is sad to me because I think she was really good. I don't really understand the backlash. I mean, I understand some of the criticism, but the backlash of like Gaga doesn't deserve an actress nomination. I'm like, oh, of course she does. She was great. Especially for her first film.
I just want to say though, because I mentioned I usually only watch award shows for the fashion. She looked outstanding.
She looked phenomenal.
Like the dress, the hair, the blue. It was pop. She looked amazing. Yeah, she definitely won at least the female aspect of fashion for the night. In terms of males, I'd probably give it to Idris Elba.
Idris looks sharp. The selfie between him and Daniel Craig is perfect. He and Daniel Craig took a selfie and it says Bonds, James Bonds. So I hope that means he's going to be James Bond. But yeah, favorite part of the night is still Jim Carrey in the very beginning. Seeing Jim Carrey again felt so good.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
He hasn't lost anything. He was just as quick-witted, just as funny, just as good with the comedic timing. I think I just need to see more Jim Carrey in my life again. I love him. And Jeff Bridges winning, so deserved. He definitely deserved a Lifetime Achievement Award. I love Jeff Bridges.
The creation of the Carol Burnett Award, I thought that was cool because it basically, I mean, it took 60 years to do it, but it basically sets TV now especially at the same level of appreciation as movies. Because like, again, speaking as a TV guy, and especially considering it's called the Movie Trivia Schmodown, like that makes a TV guy like me feel like, when is it going to be our turn? And the creation of this award, the Carol Burnett Award for Outstanding Achievement in Television, I feel like that sets TV. It's no longer here's movies, here's TV. It's now they're on the same playing field, and I like that so very much. And it couldn't have gone to someone who has done more for TV than Carol Burnett. I mean, obviously, the award is named after you. It should go to you first. But yeah, she is definitely one of the titans of the television industry. So rightfully so, the first award and the being named after the award should go to her.
Absolutely. Yeah. Overall, though, I just think the Globes they played it really safe, and that made for a boring show. The Golden Globes were always supposed to be more of the party of the Hollywood award shows. More fun, more raunchy, more kind of just like we're here to have fun and drink and get awards. And then the Oscars were supposed to be the professional. We're all in suits. We're all here to celebrate film and the love of it together. And that's when the jokes sort of go away and you just present the awards and you're more prestigious. The Golden Globes were always supposed to be more of the party. The Golden Globes felt so dead this year. Just so everyone was scared to make jokes. Everyone was scared to be a little too much. Andy Samberg made the joke where he's like, the reason why we got the job is because everyone else in Hollywood has said stupid shit. And he's like, which brings me, you know what my least favorite race of people was? That was my favorite joke of the entire night. It was a dumb, corny joke, but it was so funny. Where it's just the Boston Marathon.
See, I don't agree with you, but I don't disagree with you either in terms of like the party environment, because I feel like picking Sandra Oh and Andy Samberg, that was a good way to make a point of like, you don't have to be raunchy to be funny.
Fair. Like, but like that's it, they weren't funny. They weren't really funny. They were just kind of there. It just felt very creatively stifled and safe. And the Golden Globes are never supposed to be safe. They're always supposed to be like last year, all the jokes were about how, because the Golden Globes are so biased, where it's like, oh, I'll go get a lunch with you and I'm going to win a Golden Globe. And that's what all the jokes were last year. And it was hilarious because they were making shots at themselves. And I loved it. This year, it was just nothing. There was no pulse in the room.
But you got to think also about like how much things have changed within the entire year.
And that's fair. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like they're playing it too safe, and that made for a very boring show.
And you might not be wrong. You might not be wrong. But like I feel like for what they were trying to do, they succeeded in. It may not have been like the best way for to keep things entertaining, but like I feel like they succeeded in proving that you can at least tell comedy without being raunchy. And like
I don't know if they proved that. I feel like, because here's the thing, the material, it's not the host's fault. They're great. They're two of the best comedic performers in Hollywood. I love Andy Samberg. I love Sandra Oh. It's the material they were given to work with was so dead and written by someone that didn't really understand comedy, but they were there to just kind of, let's keep it safe. Let's do PG jokes. Let's not offend anyone. Let's just keep it real calm and cool. And then you could tell Andy Samberg is sitting there like hating every minute of it. Because he's like, that's not Andy Samberg's brand of comedy at all, especially if you know The Lonely Island. He has to basically do PG Lonely Island comedy all night, and that was killing him.
By the way, you mentioned jokes that made you laugh. I just want to say, and this one was a cringy joke, but it had a moment in it that made me laugh pretty hard, and that was when Maya Rudolph was proposing to Amy Poehler, and they were like taking attention away from the award they were announcing the nominees for, and Maya Rudolph was like, "It's okay, it's for screenplays." And I thought of you immediately because, like, who would write behind the scenes questions like that other than you? So it's just like this is not intentional, but it's a shot at Coho, and it made me smile a little bit. Also, looking at the chat, Jonathan Peck mentions, did you know Idris Elba used to be a DJ? And so I actually watched the Aftershow with Busy Phillips that they did. And I believe they mentioned it on there that, yeah, Idris Elba used to be or either still is a DJ. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Like, he's a man of many talents, Idris Elba.
Yeah.
So, anything else, or is this a good place to call it a night because we're at 1 hour and 48 minutes-ish?
That's up to the host, Tim Smith. I know we just talked Golden Globes for a solid chunk of time there. Yeah, if you want to go out on a different topic, I'm fine with that. If we go one more topic and then call it a night, because I don't want to leave you on a I just sat here for 20 minutes hating every minute of this.
No, it's pretty much. This is what I usually. Like, after we get done with the movie matches and, like, let's say Jake makes a special appearance, like when Kane does over at Phantom every once in a while, it's Jake will talk Oscars, especially when it was him and Paul on a call and me just sitting there like, that was a movie. Oh, I've heard of that movie. Yeah. So, we talked football. Your Minnesota Vikings didn't get into the playoffs, which is great.
Fuck you. But the Bears, hey, at least the Vikings weren't the NFC team that choked in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, when we talked about that earlier, it was like, what the fuck? How do you go in with the top ranked defense and fuck up that hard?
Totally called the Eagles winning that game, though. That was one of the ones I predicted was the Eagles, and everyone's like, no way, the Bears. I'm like, no, the Eagles are going to win.
Here's the thing, though. I want the Cowboys to at least go one more round.
Oh, no, the Cowboys are done. The Cowboys are done when they walk into the Coliseum.
I want us to go one more round and have the Eagles blown out. Then I don't care what happens because I want to do better than Philadelphia.
I would love it if the Cowboys lose and Philly beats the Saints and goes to the championship again. And the biggest upset in the history of the playoffs is just the 6-seeded Eagles that no one thought would get here, beating the number 1-seeded Saints, and then going to the championship against the Rams. That'd be
right fucking there. Right
I hate to say this, but I'm kind of rooting the Eagles on for the rest of the postseason, just because I don't know. The thing is, I like the underdog, and the Eagles are the underdog, even though they're the reigning Super Bowl champs, and I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I really hope they don't.
I would love to see the Eagles make it back to the Super Bowl.
I would really hope not, because I don't think they already burned Philly to the ground once. I don't think another burning 2 years in a row is going to do any good.
True.
Because the Purge one didn't kill off the people it needed to.
Look, Rocky's Diner on 24th just got rebuilt, and he's going to be putting 24-hour surveillance on it if the Eagles go to the Super Bowl again. That thing will not be standing the next day.
Every fucking business is going to have cameras on it if that happens, because you're going to see police force all over Pennsylvania converge in one city, and the rest of Pennsylvania is going to become a giant crime spree, because Philly, if that happens, will get burned to the ground.
Philly will implode if they do it again.
It would be like if Cleveland got there once in the modern fucking era, ever since they moved and said.
I would like to see Cleveland do it though.
I don't. Cleveland got close this year, but I don't know.
Who you got in the Super Bowl? Who are your team?
For what we have, I don't think we're going to beat the Rams, but I have the Saints, because this is probably Drew Brees' last go. I think they're going to give him a Super Bowl ring, and I think the AFC. I think it's going to be the Chiefs. Honestly, I would love to see the Chargers do it and have it be. Because everyone in that class, but not only that.
That's what I got. I got Chargers, Saints, and I got Breeze Rivers both retire.
But think about it. Everybody in that class, Phillip Rivers had Eli Manning 2 Super Bowl rings, Ben Roethlisberger 2 Super Bowl rings, Phillip Rivers jack fucking shit. Mm-hmm. I would love to see him get a ring,
at least one.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
I think he has one more year. I think he has one more year on his contract. So if he makes it to the Super Bowl and loses, he'll come back for one more. I think.
Well, so did Jason Witten, and he retired, so it wouldn't be.
I don't know. I think if Rivers makes it to the Super Bowl and wins, he's done. If Rivers makes it to the Super Bowl and loses, he might give it one more year, but I think he should quit. This is Brees' last season, regardless.
Oh yeah.
If he makes it to a Super Bowl and wins, he's done. He has 2 rings.
And the NFL is good for doing that, because Jerome Bettis, when he retired, he got a ring. Whenever Hurricane Katrina happened, New Orleans got a ring. The whole whenever 9/11 happened, the Patriots were the team of that decade. And I could see them doing it, but you can't take away the offensive power and defensive power of the LA Rams, because they have been the surprise team.
The Rams have been fading. The Rams have been fading since since they beat the Chiefs. It feels like that team thought they just won the Super Bowl and just kind of gave up. They kind of just faded. And
that game was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. But I don't think we're going to see a rematch in the Super Bowl. I think the Rams and the Saints are the conference finals, and the Saints win. Yeah. And then in the AFC, it's the Chargers and the Chiefs 3. And then the Chargers are going to win the trilogy and go to the Super Bowl. I really have a hard time calling who wins between the Colts and the Chiefs, because I've seen the Colts have just such tremendous growth over the season that I have a hard time betting against them, because I want the Colts to do well. But at the same time, I don't know if they can stop the power of Patrick Mahomes. I really just want Philip Rivers to grind Tom Brady to dust so badly.
Oh, I'd love
Rivers
to see,
deserves it.
I'd love to see Brady finally fucking retire and just be
Brady
done.
won't retire. Brady will go another 2 years until he gets his 5th ring.
He already has his 5th
or his 6th ring, whatever it is.
Yeah. But, I mean, the whole thing, though, is, and I said this earlier, if Brady goes, that team implodes because that whole team is built around one player.
Yes. That team is done the moment Brady retires. And they never recover. Ever.
Yeah.
The Patriots will forever be a middling team ever since.
And I think Belichick would leave with him, honestly.
Belichick would retire, too. Belichick would probably call it a career.
Because at that point, he has nothing left to prove.
Yeah, no, he's already going down in history as probably the greatest coach of all time.
Probably.
With Tom Brady, who will probably be going down as the greatest quarterback of all time, despite me not liking him that much.
Yeah, with a few asterisks there with a couple of those rings. Then again, you can say that with Ben Roethlisberger, too.
True.
Yeah, so it's hard to tell. It's going to be a good end of the season. I mean,
yeah, the final 8 teams, that'll be a good matchup of everyone. If you look at the 4 teams, there's clearly one team of the 4 that's the weakest when you look at all 4. And when you look at the AFC, the Patriots is the weakest of the AFC. And when you look at the NFC, the Cowboys are the weakest of the NFC.
I'd really think the Eagles are more weakest.
The Eagles would beat the shit out of you if you played right now. The Eagles would beat the absolute fucking shit out of the Cowboys.
No, feed Zeke. Zeke just runs it down their throat and fucks them over.
I don't know. I think Foles makes Dak Prescott look like a rookie if they play. But I don't know. Yeah. We will never know unless the Eagles and the Cowboys are in the championship. That's all I'll say. And if that's the championship, oh my God.
It's another home
championship. Yeah. If that's the championship, oh my God. That means 2 of the biggest upsets in the history of the NFL just happened.
Okay, yeah. This is where I'm calling it. This is where I'm calling it.
Oh.
Yeah. This has been episode 2 of the After Show. I've just been sent a message by Kane McMillan, and The Last Stand is finally uploading. Hopefully it might not be up until tomorrow morning for some of you, but when it finally gets up there, enjoy it because it's 5 hours of gloriousness. But
why he didn't split that up to make it easier on himself, I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, me neither. But anyway, so let's go around the room so we can close things out with plugs. Tim Smith, the boss, where can the good people find you?
Nico will probably cover it, so all I really have to say is here on Multiplex, you can find me all over the place here. That's where you can usually find me and just holding Nico to the ground hysterically. But, that's where you can find me. One last one before we leave.
Caleb Coho, where can the good people find you?
Well, you can find me right here on Multiplex Entertainment. I host Fandom Fight on Fridays, and the Co-Huskers will be coming on Thursdays. The Fandom Awards will be airing tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hosted by myself and Kane McMillan. It is going to be great. We have an in memoriam. We have a special tease for season 2. We have some of the greatest players in fandom accepting awards. So you're going to want to watch. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you tune in to the Fandom Awards and check out The Last Stand. That'll be up tomorrow as well.
Hold on. Was that Kane or was that Nico?
That was Kane who wrote that last one. So for those of you who are watching the chat, I was using the Multiplex account for the majority of this video, and then Kane just got one in.
What did Kane say?
So Kane said, "I never know what I am doing. Why did I not split it up? I don't know. I'm a dumb white Asian."
If you know Kane, that is hilarious.
Yeah, that was Kane, not me. I just want to clarify that, because if I said that, I would get in serious trouble. But anyway, okay, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube at Nico Suave Regoli. That's NicoSuaveRegoli. Over on Film Nerd TV for Combat Zone Wrestling Trivia and the Week of Wrestling podcast with Hunter Chambliss, dedicated to art with Case Cornelese, and Christopher Doman. And right here at Multiplex, that's the name of the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. The Twitter is at Multiplex YT. The Instagram is Multiplex Entertainment Network. The TeePublic is just Multiplex. Check out our awesome shirts. I should have a Trivia for Thon shirt ready for that, and I will describe what Trivia for Thon is in just a moment. In terms of the schedule for Multiplex, Monday is Movie Warzone 2 and the After Show, by the way. Tuesday is TV Throwdown, Singles, and Fandom. Wednesday is Sports Battlefield. Thursday is the Co-Oscars and our Arrowverse discussion show, Crisis on Earth Plex. It should be coming back soon. Friday is Phantom Fight. Saturday is Nerdgasm. And Sunday is my recap show, Around the League with Nico. The John Regoy Memorial Trivia-thon for Thon, January 21st to January 27th. Matches between here at Multiplex, Full Metal Trivia, Jukebox Trivia, and we're closing things out with the Combat Zone Wrestling Trivia Heavyweight Championship match between myself and Andrew the Dude Hayes. And if you're in Brooklyn, New York, from Thursday to Saturday of that week, Schmodown Live, baby. It's going to be a fun one. I will be there. But yeah, that is Tim. That is Coho. I'm me. Thank you all for joining us for the After Show. And we'll
have a fun new year. Drive safe.
Yep.
Drive unsafe.